Hi everyone, this is James. I've been giving you different ways of visualizing the what we call the iceberg strategy, and so I'm just going to give you a little visualization. I got a couple of you guys that are coming in. You've got say 2 or 3, 4 Bitcoin, and you're coming in, and so here's a general rule of thumb. What I'd like you to do is if you've got amounts of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Bitcoin in your top three positions. So I'm going to show you here. This would be let's maybe show it to you a couple different ways. But so you're going to be joining under us, and depending on where you fall, you're going to be sponsored by us. But let's just give one example, and I'll give two examples. So here's your sponsor, and let's say you fall in under here, okay? So this is you, and I'm going to say this is you number one. So you've sponsored yourself, and if we keep sponsoring, then which we will. Now I'm assuming that you may not sponsor, but if you do, then this is you, and you could then go ahead and sponsor. If we continue to sponsor, then we're going to go down and we'll sponsor here and here and here and here. So this would continue. Now, but let's talk about you. So you want to build this up, and I'm going to talk just in a second about this. But basically, you're going to want to set a structure, and the iceberg strategy. If you remember, the visualization this is the surface of the water. You got a certain amount here, and then the iceberg is below the surface, right? And that's really what we're going to be talking about here. In simple terms, what I'd like you to think about doing is, at least in your iceberg strategy, in this part up here, think about putting 25% of the value of what you plan to put in above the water, and then 75% below. Okay, just in terms of simple ideas. And what I'm going to talk about on this above the surface is going to be your first three positions. So which is going to be one here and then one on each side. Okay, one on each side. So that's above the water, and then the rest of this will be below. All right, so let's go back to my example. You've been sponsored, and this is you. Now you want to build a structure, but you want to qualify yourself on your right and on your left. And let's assume that this is just, you're thinking of a purely passive structure. Okay, so and it depends on whether you think there's going to be some spillover here, or whether you think it'll be completely passive. You're going to be passive in this example, so we're assuming that you're not going to sponsor. Okay, so you need to qualify this position, which means you put one on the right side. So this will be you number two. This is on the left side, pardon me. And this is you number three. Okay, so now you're starting to build on your, this is what we call the inside. The outside is your sponsor's leg that includes you and may include other people. We're just going to assume that you're going to keep quiet here, okay? Now, if you assume that you're going to be passive, what you will do is just continue to build under these. So this one's qualified now, and if you've got let's say 4 Bitcoin in this 25% idea. If you have 4 Bitcoin, you'd want to put 25% of that 4 in these three positions. In other words, you'd want to put about 1 Bitcoin in there. Okay, I'm going to take that away. But you'd put about 1 Bitcoin here, and then you'd put 3 Bitcoin underneath this. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. Now I can give you another structure here and another example. Again, you could put, say, a big position here, and it depends on whether you think there's going to be more growth down here. But basically just want to keep, now you want to keep the volume. So you watch how much volume. It'll tell you in your back office how much you have on your left and how much you have on your right. So, but when you first build, if you're not going to do anything more, all you care about is your own volume. So you can basically just do a position here and then a position here. You can do the same thing here and here. So remember, this is 25%. So you've got one bit in our example of someone with 4 Bitcoin. You would maybe put, you know, you could put 1 Bitcoin here. Maybe you would put a Spartacus 4 here. That'd be a half a Bitcoin, and 2 Spartacus 3s, which would be, then you'd have 1.1 Bitcoin. You'd have 0.5 here, and I'll put these amounts in here in just a second. We go back and do it. 1.5, and then 0.6, a 0.5, and then 0.3 and 0.3. And then underneath that, you just would continue to build. So you'd put another position here. You put one there, and then you'd qualify this position Y2 for binary. And you put another one here, and another one here. I'm just going to fill this in just a second. All right, and you could continue to do the same thing. So you could, you know, the more layers you build, the deeper you build the iceberg, the 75%, you want 75. So remember, we're going to want to put, I'm going to draw that same line here as we have here. You're going to put 75% of whatever you want to build in your position underneath here so that you can get binary on yourself. Okay? So 1 Bitcoin up here, 3 Bitcoin down here. Okay, so ideally we'd go 1 or 2 more levels here. It just depends on how aggressive you want to do it. But this one again would go 1 more and 1 more. So you start with 1. This is a binary, so you start with 1 position, 2 positions, 4 positions, and we're going to have 8 positions underneath here. Now, some of you guys don't want to manage too many accounts. I get that. I've got a lot of accounts, so I'm managing a lot of accounts, but not everybody wants to do that. It's more profitable to manage more accounts, so there is an incentive to do it financially, and it's less work than you would think. Okay? But I get that not everybody wants to do that. But if you had the funds, you could do this a little bit more lucratively. Okay, so imagine we want to try to place 3 Bitcoin down here. We have 12 positions here now to put 3 Bitcoin, because we're going to put in 4 overall. We put in 1 up here, and we want to put the remaining 3 Bitcoin below. So we could spread these around. 3 Bitcoin, you could put, say, 1 Bitcoin here, around 1 Bitcoin here, and 2 Bitcoin down here. Why would you put so much down here? Because you'll get commissions on them as they're qualified. So you'd get commissions on that larger amount. So you want to put those larger amounts down here. Now, I'm going to just make it, I think a lot of you guys would just tell me you don't want to really go beyond this because it gets too complicated. Because you're going to have to do 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 4. This is 5. Sorry, I can't write very well here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Boy, this writing is pretty horrible here, guys, but you get my idea. 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so we're in theory we're putting in 4 Bitcoin. We got 15 positions, and with with 3 of those positions. So 3 of them are going to be 25%. So you can guess the amounts. And 12 of them are the bottom 12 are going to be 75%. Okay? So we can sort of figure this out, in terms of percentages. Ideally, we'd put I think maybe Spartacus 2 positions down here, so we could do 0.1 or 0.2. But we got 3 Bitcoin. So we could maybe do, let's see, if we have 8 down here, 8 times 3 would be, if we did Spartacus 3s, those would be 0.3, so 8 times 0.3 times 8, we'd have 2.4 down here, right? So that wouldn't be too bad. That would actually look pretty good, 2.4 Bitcoin. And then we've got 0.6 here. So we could do 0.6 left. So we could maybe put 0.6. We probably have to do Spartacus. Probably have to do Spartacus 2 positions, or we could do maybe if you have a little bit more than 4 Bitcoin, these could be either a 0.2 or a 0.3, right? Just whatever you have mathematically. You got to do it times 4. So if times 2 times 4 would be 0.8. So you'd have there 0.8, right? So if we add this up, 2.4 and 0.8, that's 3.2. We said we had 3 in here. So if we did the math this way, it would break down that way. So that's one structure. Or you could do 0.3s up here, and that would be 1.2, and then you would have smaller amounts. Maybe you do 0.2s down here. And there's a lot of different ways you can do the math. There's no perfect method. It really also depends on your situation. But that would be sort of how I would recommend you do it. And then why? Because when you put these down here, you're going to get binary here. Okay, let me change the ink so that you can start to see how this kicks in. All right. So you put in these down here, and you're going to get a binary here. You're going to put these down here, you're going to get a binary here. So this is one binary. Because this has one on the left and one on the right, it's going to get, so if we say these are 0.3, you're going to get a commission on 0.3, one from each side. And you're going to get that here also. And you're going to get that here. So you're going to get the commission there, and you're going to get the commission there. Now the same thing's going to start to happen on a bigger level, because you're going to have the binary here, and it's on the two sides of this. So you're going to have binary here. You're going to get a binary commission on this. And you're going to get a binary commission on this. But remember, you just have to watch the amounts, because you always get paid on the weaker side. If they're exactly the same, you get paid on the same. So in this example, if we had 0.3s and 0.2s, you'd have 2 0.3s. That would be, well, let me finish what I was doing, and then the last one we're going to have here. I'm just going to change the ink one more time. So on this you'd have this volume, on this you'd have this volume. The volume's the same, but you're going to get binary on the whole package one time, right? So you're going to get 3 layers of binary commissions by setting it up this way. And because you put the most of your money on the bottom, that money is going to get commissions 3 times. Okay? Hope you can see that. That's the beauty of this iceberg strategy. Basically, you put most of the money underneath where you can get a commission on it. Now I don't want to take up too much time sort of figuring out what each of these would be, but If this is a Spartacus 2 account, you'd get 6%. So on this level, you'd get 6%. If these were Spartacus 3s, so let's just figure out this one. You'd have a Spartacus, you'd have 0.3 on this side, 0.3 on this side. So this one is going to get paid binary on the weaker side. So you'd figure out the amount would be 0.3, the smaller of the two, 0.3, and the amount of commission that a Spartacus 2 gets, so a position at this level, would be 6%. All right, so you're going to get that. And you're going to get that for each of these little systems. So there's that, and that. You're going to get that, whatever that number is, and I'm not going to pull out the calculator to do it right now, but whatever that amount is, you're going to get that 4 times in this structure here. Now, the same thing is going to happen here because you're going to have volume here. So you're going to have 0.3, 0.6, and then these are 0.2, 0.8. So you're going to have 0.8 and 0.8. So remember, this one you're doing 4 times on this structure. But you've got 0.8 and 0.8, so we're going to do a different a 0.8, and I think we said these were, what did we say this level up here? I didn't write it down, did I? But you're going to have 0.8. What did we say? We put 1 up here, so I think we said a Spartacus 4. Yeah, that's what we did. So Spartacus 4, which would be 9%, and these would be Spartacus 3s. I think that's how we did it. So we'd have 2 Spartacus 3s, which would pay 7%. Okay. So coming back to this example, we had 0.3 plus 0.3 plus 0.2 is 0.8. And if this is a Spartacus 3, it'd be 7%. So on this structure and this structure, we'd have 0.8. Oops, come on. Be nice now to James. 0.8 times 7%. And we do that twice, whatever that number is. So you're going to pick up that money on this structure and on this structure. And you're going to do that twice because you get it twice, okay? Then we're going to do the whole thing. So we're going to get the volume on this and the volume of this and pick up a binary here. So how much is the volume here? It's 0.3 plus 0.3 is 0.6 plus 0.2 is 0.8 plus this is another 0.3, so that's 1.1. So this is a third level of commissions. I guess I'm going to put that in over here. This is not as clear as I would have liked it. Kind of ran out of space here. Sorry about that. But the idea is right. So remember, we had 0.3, 0.6, 0.8, and then 1.1. So on those two larger ones, you're going to have 1.1 times the percent here, 7%. No, sorry, it's up here. It's on the top level. So we're getting 1.1 and 1.1. It's on the smaller, but they're both the same. So it's 1.1 and 1.1 times this percentage, because this is your Spartacus 4, it gets 9%. So you get 1.1 times 9%. Okay? So you get a binary commission from this one. You get 2 binary commissions from this one. You get 4 binary commissions from this one. So you're getting 7 binary commissions on yourself. And that's the beauty of the strategy. That's the iceberg strategy. So you picked up all those commissions, and you know each of those adds up. So you're just getting money from yourself. Oh gosh, what happened there? uh, Looks like I may have lost. Okay, undo. Yep, look at that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you've picked up all these, and again, I'm not going to take the calculator and figure it all out, but whatever you've done, when you started with 4, you've added, you're already getting back the amounts of money that you are picking up from these 7 different commissions that you get. So you get an overall one, 2 on these bigger ones, and 4 of these smaller ones. So I hope that explains a little bit more how you should structure it. And also be sure to put some on your right. And remember, each position that you want to structure in this, one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, and then you do the same thing. You just work your way down and you fill it here. If you've got more money, then you would keep sponsoring. 2 here, you'd put 16 down here. If you have the patience to do it, put 16 down here. And again, you know, they don't need to be big amounts. They can all just be 0.2 or 0.3. A Spartacus 2 or a Spartacus 3 account is great for this. The smaller the better. Then, if you want to be aggressive like I've been aggressive, when you start to get these commissions and you get them back, put them in down below. So you could, for example, when you start to get commissions, just put 0.2s here. 0.2, 0.2. You get till after 16 days you had some commissions, or 18 days, or 20 days, or 30 days. You have some commissions down here, and then you start to upgrade them. The 0.2s become 0.3s, and when you upgrade them, what does it do? It sends new binary commissions. All these matching binaries will send, all these matching amounts will send more binary commissions upward. So it's a really powerful strategy. You just keep, the iceberg keeps getting deeper and it gets bigger down here. So that's the idea. It gets deeper. You might start at this level, but it gets deeper and it gets bigger. And you get just more and more layers of commission. And every time you upgrade or you add more, boom, binary commission, boom, binary commission, boom, goes up, binary commission, boom, binary commission. So, pardon me, that's the whole idea. Let me know if you've got questions. You probably do. I didn't make it as clear as I would have liked, but hopefully if you walked your way through, you can get the idea. If not, I would recommend just start it again and kind of track your way through it with me. Okay? All right, thanks for watching. As always, we're glad to get your likes, comments, and shares, and please feel free to subscribe to our channel. Thanks again. Bye-bye.